Hi everyone! For my live annotated bib this week, I chose to focus on health professionals. The topic was of interest to me because I remember the horrible state my sister was in when she was applying to med school and how little she ate, slept, exercised, and even laughed. She merely existed out of the realm of studying. I noticed that a group of compassionate, intelligent researchers took note of this poor mental and physical state of health professional students and decided to conduct a little experiment with technology to see if they could stimulate a motivation to exercise amongst the stressed students. So the average age of the 141 willing participants were 26, and the majority was female, single, and completing an undergraduate degree. These were just some statistics I saw in the appendix of the research report. So they were asked to record. Sorry, before I go on, the article title is Using Technology to Increase Physical Activity in Health Profession Students. And it is written by Mary Ann Stark, Kelly Elrod, Sarah Holler, and Andrea Mahon. They were asked to record their steps each day with a pedometer, and a stress test was taken at the beginning. Every day, the participants were asked to send their total amounts of steps taken via text message to the recorders. Here, I have included an exact text message that was enclosed in the appendix of the research report. Physical activity can make you feel happy. Enjoy your steps. The participants were texted positive affect messages on a daily basis at the same time every day. However, not all participants were texted. This qualitative research study separated participants into an intervention group and a control group in order to answer the main question: will exercise be increased if positive affect text messages are sent out on a daily basis? In response to there not being much of a significant increase or decrease amongst the two groups, the researchers decided to look at the lowest steps taken, a tiny amount of only 17 participants out of the whole 141 that were present for the entire study. And they had exceptionally poor exercise habits before the study started. In fact, they had less than 3,000 steps taken per day. For those who have a Fitbit or have used a Fitbit, you would know that the average expected steps taken per day is 10,000, so 3,000 is quite low. The researchers discovered, however, that 14 out of the 17 participants had increased their steps after receiving the text messages. So there were some positive results from that study. So just to reiterate what I just said, people who didn't exercise much in the first place were analyzed. The results were analyzed because they had the lowest results out of the 141 participants. And it is important to mention that these participants were within the group that was being texted on a daily basis, those positive, effective messages. So the mediator and moderators that I found are the following. The moderator was the potential to decrease stress by physical activity, and what would the effect be on technology on motivation to exercise. The mediators are that students may just experience too much stress, they don't really feel like exercising, and also the text messages may annoy students and actually deter them from exercising rather than doing the opposite. That's kind of similar to what I mentioned in my personal challenge earlier today, that my Fitbit that I borrowed was yelling at me, telling me to go exercise or get up and move if I hadn't taken enough steps by like midday. So yeah, those were just the mediators I found. So personally, I found this article to be very interesting because I constantly see inspirational exercise memes on, Instagram or Pinterest or other social media platforms, and this motivates me to exercise despite my stressful commitments I have on an ongoing basis. I do think, however, that the results would have been more effective if there were images or something more visual that the participants could be inspired by. I would also like to mention that I was disappointed to not see any results on the stress test. So how were their stress levels after exercising more, after taking more of those steps? Because they had mentioned at the beginning in their methodology that they gave the participants a stress test, but I didn't hear anything about it after later in the report. So thank you for listening.